Hello and welcome back to our cook-along. My name is Jan and today we will be teaching you how to make couscous soup. This is a dish I grew up eating and it always brings me back to my childhood when I eat it. For this you will need 3 medium-sized potatoes, 1 medium-sized carrot, 1 medium-sized courgette, 1 white onion, 1/4 of a white cabbage, 500 grams of tin chickpeas. Now we have quite a big tin here, so we will be using about half of it, but if you're getting a normal sized tin from the supermarket, those usually tend to be 500 grams, so just use the whole tin. Turmeric and paprika. We are using smoked paprika today, but regular paprika works fine. And of course, some couscous. Start by chopping up all your veggies. An easy way to dice an onion is to first cut off the head, then cut down the middle into the root. We are going to keep the root on as it will help us with the chopping. Peel the skin off the onion. Then start slicing the onion lengthways. It's easy to try and use the lines of the onion as your guide. Make sure you don't cut all the way to the root. Once you have a few cuts, we will start cutting the other way, resulting in nice onion cubes. Next for our potatoes. We've washed them really well and now we're just going to peel them. Your potatoes might have some brown spots on them, but that's okay. Just cut those off and the rest of your potato should be okay to use. Then cut your peeled potatoes down the middle once, then turn them the other way and cut again to make quarters. Next for the carrot. We won't be peeling those as the skin is soft enough that it won't be noticed when it boils in the soup. It's also full of nutrients. We are cutting our carrot into chunky rounds. Notice how Anne's hand is holding the carrot like a claw. This is to make sure you protect your fingers as you cut. Now we're going to cut our courgette the exact same way that we cut our carrot, into chunky rounds. And lastly, we are going to cut our cabbage. First, we have to cut off a slice in the size that we like. In this case, it's about 1/4. Then we'll be cutting that into thirds lengthways. Then cutting our 3 slices once again. Now that you have all your veggies prepped, it's time to start cooking. Start by heating up a drizzle of vegetable oil in a pan. Then add your onion and cook for a minute until it starts to brown. Next, add your cabbage and break it down a little with your spoon. It's okay if it doesn't break down completely, it will continue to do so as it cooks. Cook it for another minute. Then add your spices. We are using a heaped tablespoon of turmeric and a heaped teaspoon of paprika. Add those into the pan, give it a mix through the onion and cabbage, then toast for another minute or so. Next, we are going to add in all our veggies apart from the courgette into the pan and mix through the spices. Cover with plenty of water, place on a lid and bring to the boil. Once it's boiling, reduce the heat and let it simmer away for about half an hour. The water should be covering the vegetables completely at all times. So if you see the water starting to reduce, just add some more. After half an hour has passed, add in your courgette. Courgettes are much softer than the rest of your veg, so they don't need as much cooking, which is why we're only adding them in now. You may need to add some more water at this stage, as your pan starts to fill up with ingredients. Mix it through and then cook for further 15 minutes. While your courgette cooks, drain your chickpeas and rinse them really well. Tin chickpeas are actually already cooked, so they only need a little bit of cooking, which is why we're adding them right at the end. They just need warming through. Once it's been 15 minutes since you've added your courgette, add your chickpeas into the pan, give it a quick stir, and then cook it again for another 10 to 15 minutes. While the soup is finishing off, we'll start making our couscous. Add a drizzle of vegetable oil into a bowl, and then add salt and pepper directly into the oil and give it a quick mix. Then add a cup of couscous and mix through the oil. It should have the texture of wet sand. Pour over boiling water until the couscous is just covered. Then cover with a lid, or in our case we're using a plate, and let it sit for 10 minutes. When the 10 minutes are up, remove the lid and fluff up the couscous using a fork. And by now, our soup should be ready as well. You can tell the soup is ready when the potatoes and carrots are fork tender. Finish the soup off with salt and pepper to taste, and it's ready to serve. To serve, first add your couscous into a bowl. It's supposed to be more like a gravy or a sauce than a soup. So what I like to do is just grab a big handful of your veggies and then kind of drain off a little bit of the liquid before placing the veggies onto the couscous. Make sure you get all of the chickpeas that are right at the bottom of the pan. And that's it. It's a very simple dish. It's warm, it's comforting, and it's perfect for those rainy days. If you make this dish or any of our other dishes, please tag us on social media or email us on mediaandmarketing.bcf@gmail.com. And we will see you next time.